our side. So you can see Ben and Tiffany, right?
I can see Ben, but okay. All right. So it's just, it looks like it's just Carol and myself. Okay. All right. Are we good to go, Gerarda?
Good afternoon. Yes, you're all set and ready to go.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, well, welcome everyone to the September 16th Public Works Facilities and Sustainability Committee meeting. Always a mouthful to say. I want to first welcome everyone to the meeting, including those who may be viewing us at home. Real quick introductions. We have myself, Barry Walters, as chair, and we've got Councillor Carol Anderson Blanks as our vice chair. And thank you. And then Deputy Mayor Ben Winograd is with us, as is Councillor Tiffany McGinnis. We have Town Manager Rick Ledwith. Then we have our two directors, Public Works Director John Phillips and Facilities Bob Palmer. And we have Sustainability Catherine Deviney. And is there anybody that I'm missing? Don't see anybody else. Okay, great. So our first order of business is going to be the minutes. Let's see, the minutes of, let me bring up, of 7/31, 2025. And I trust that we've all had a chance to review those minutes. And given it's just Carol and I guess, do you approve of the minutes, Carol? I approve of them.
I do.
Okay. Okay. So with that, I think we have approval of the minutes, and we're gonna jump to the next category, which is communications, and I'll turn it over to Town Manager Ledwith for any communications there may be.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nothing under communications this evening, and we're going to reverse the order of the agenda. At our next section under staff reports, we will have Bob Palmer go first under plant facilities update, followed by Mr. Phillips, and then Catherine Deviney.
Excellent. So with that said, I guess we will go ahead and put the spotlight on Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Bob Palmer, Director of Plant and Facility Services. So daily operations. We made it through a fairly hot summer with our air conditioning systems. So now we've been into the nice cooler weather and a little less pressure on our HVAC systems. Believe it or not, we've already been gearing up for heating season, so we're almost ready to go for that. So it's right around the corner. So overall, things are going well. We still have one part-time position we're trying to fill at this point. So for the new Elmwood Community Center, we still have limited use of the existing buildings and ground at 100 Mayflower. Building utilities have been disconnected. The good news is we are finally going to bid for the demolition of that building. So if it's not out to bid this week, I would expect by early next week it will be out to bid. And then we'll proceed through the fall and the early winter with the environmental abatement and then the actual demolition of the building. So I'll have more to share on that as we get bids in and as we develop the schedule. So as far as the architectural design of the new Elmwood Community Center, as you recall that we received a very detailed cost estimate from both the architect and our construction manager at Risk. We are still going through and trying to reconcile those two cost estimates to make sure that we have a very good understanding of what the true cost of the building is. So it's a very detailed process. lots of meetings and going over a lot of the minute details of what's going to be in this building. So more to come on that probably at our next meeting next month. We'll be meeting in the next few weeks to try and hash that all out, and then we can move on to the the design the next phase of design documents. So capital projects, we're still seeing some strange things with supply chain for some things. Labor shortages in certain trades are certainly impacting us. We're seeing some problems within those areas, trying to get tradespeople to sites. Potential tariffs have created a lot of uncertainty in the bidding environment. So pricing has been very high. People anticipating the different types of tariffs that might be implemented. So it's been very strange kind of situation and some high pricing. We definitely saw higher prices this summer in our bidding of our projects than we had in past years. So some updates on some of the projects for the town. The animal control facility at 3438 Brixton Street. Construction is in process. The foundation work is in process. We probably will finish the foundation work this week. We did encounter some less than favorable soil conditions on that site, despite doing all the due diligence beforehand. So we ended up with a slight delay there and some added costs for removing that soil and then bringing in better soil in order to put that foundation in. So, but we're moving along. So the fueling station at 705 Oakwood, Mr. Phillips, I'm sure will have more to say about that, but we are also going to bid on that one as well. It's pretty much in sync with the 100 Mayflower building. So we should be seeing that going to bid this week or early next week at the latest. And there's other stuff that's going on with that. The purchase of the fuel tanks and the construction of those is also in process. We're pushing hard to get that facility in before winter. It's going to be tough, but we are trying to do that. So, fire training tower. At this point, we're going out to bid for an architect and also for an owner's rep for that project. So the fire department's taken the lead on that project, and it's becoming more complex. And we're finding very similar soil conditions as we did over at the animal control facility. So we're going to need to do some due diligence and work with some engineering folks in order to design that so that it's has an adequate support system in place. So again, we're dealing with probably old landfill there. We're adjacent to that. We weren't really sure what was there, but we in doing some test drilling, we had to go down about 100 feet before we hit native soil. So there's quite a bit of material in the way there. So, but there's ways to get around that. So we'll be working on that. There's engineered solutions for that. So public safety facilities assessment, that's out for review with the various departments at this point. Townwide generators. As you recall, we have been through the FEMA grant process 2 times prior to this. We're in our 3rd try. They promised us a very fast review period, and it has not been very fast, so we're still waiting. So, town hall restroom lobby renovations were in design. Fire station miscellaneous improvements. Those are the improvements for fire stations 2, 4, and 5. Various kitchen and bunk room and restroom renovations. That is currently out to bid. We had a pre-bid last week. We had a really good turnout for that. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to get some very competitive pricing on that. So it's a good time of year to go out. All the summer projects are done. So Rockledge driving range, we've made a lot of progress on that as well. The foundation is complete. At this point, there are various different utilities are being put in. We have some great assistance from DPW on that, helping us with that, doing some of the trenching for some of the lines. We're also working with all the various utilities and getting those services to that new facility. Next up in the next week or 2 will be the assembly of the actual driving range building. It really is a kit, kind of is pre-manufactured off-site, and it comes delivered and then they assemble it on site. So that should go up fairly fast. Eisenhower Pool, again, we've made some great strides there. So we are just beginning to begin the abatement and demolition of the existing pool before we begin construction of the new pool. So we're doing the preliminary work right now of cleaning out the existing mechanical room and filter room and securing the site, and we expect to begin the actual abatement process and demolition on Monday for next week. So for the Board of Ed for this month, I always do a kind of a back to school kind of, I always call it like kind of what I did this summer project, what I did this summer for my report for the Board of Ed. So I really just attached that to this report for this year, and it gives you a lot more detail about a lot of the smaller projects that we do, but these are all projects that are covered under the capital improvement program. You don't always see a lot of them. A lot of them are smaller, a lot of floor refinishing, a lot of painting, those types of things. And those are covered by the capital improvement program, but we also did the major bigger ones, like at Bugby we did the roof. We actually ended up having to put in a new fire alarm system over there as the existing system had failed and we couldn't get parts anymore because it was obsolete. Over at Conard, we did a lot of flooring and painting, and again we installed the scoreboard for the girls softball field, which was a big they're very excited about that. At Duffy we finished up the 2-year window and HVAC project, so we are substantially complete on that. We still have a few little things going on, but the majority of it is done, and we were also able to do we had some paving going on for areas that we damaged during the construction, which was anticipated when we brought in the portable classrooms, the temporary portables. So we were able to do some extra sidewalks in that area just to fix up some of the area. Hall High School, we completed the servery and the cafeteria renovation. It looks amazing. So if you ever have a chance to get up there, it looks very, very, very slick. So next year we're going to do Connors, and they're very excited for theirs. So we were also able to renovate 6 restrooms over the summer. We finished gym floors. We have painted parking lines. King Philip, we had reconfigured the entrance for security. That work is still ongoing through September. We're just wrapping that up now. So the school's kind of doing a workaround for that right now. We replaced the gym floor in the 7th and 8th grade gym, which is a larger gym. We're also replacing the dividing wall, and that work continues right now. Should be wrapped up next week for that. We also replaced a small section of roof over what they call the M section of the building. So Whiting Lane, we resurfaced the parking lot, the north parking lot at there, and we did some flooring replacements. We also did some additional painting of driveway directional markings to help out with the traffic patterns there. We'll get the main office addition. That's a 2-year project. It is doing an addition on the front of the building for security purposes, moving the main office to the front of the building. We also reconfigured, because the construction will be ongoing through the school year, we reconfigured the front area of the school to include a new inside loop, which will eventually be used for parent drop-off. But right now, temporarily for this school year, because the driveway nearest the school isn't available, it'll be used for bus drop-off. So that's gone very well. Also, it was a lot of work to get done before school opened, and we got that straightened out for them. So, and then we did a bunch of other stuff. We go through and inspect all our playgrounds, put down mulch throughout the school district, and then we of course, during the summer in the schools, we do thorough cleaning and inspection and maintenance of life safety and emergency systems, along with a lot of other work that needs to get done. So that is my report. Happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Palmer. I found the list there to be impressive, and I appreciate your back to school report, so to speak, reporting of that. And I also kind of found it as your tax dollars at work list, kind of, because it really does lay out where we are putting our resources, and I did really appreciate that. Are there any questions before I ask a couple? Yes, Councilor Blanks.
Thank you, Chairman Walters. Just a quick question for you, Mr. Palmer. The prefab kit for the golf course. Can you elaborate a little on that? I'm wondering, is that sort of the future kind of thing that's being done nowadays as a cutback on time, assembly? What's the difference between prefab opposed to if you were building it on the ground up?
Yeah, I think you see that quite a bit. I mean, I think you've seen some apartments kind of come your way that were kind of being done that way. So industry wide, you're seeing that it's a more cost efficient way to doing things. This particular company that we selected, which is Above the Tees, I think, something like that. You remember that, Rick? What it was? Or something like that. They do this all over the country. So again, it's very efficient. They come in and they have that thing up in less than 2 weeks. Really, I guess is what happens. So again, it's all pre-measured and pre-done and pre-finished. So all that work is done off-site under controlled environments. So you're not subject to weather and all that. So that's what makes it efficient. The transportation is probably the least efficient part of it, but the efficiencies they gain by doing it in a controlled environment like that, and the precision that they can have by not doing it out in the field is a gain for them and for us. So.
Thank you.
Sure.
I just found that interesting, and I'm sure that it adds to minimizing delays. So,
yep,
thank you.
Definitely.
It's definitely how the portable classrooms have evolved.
Yes, exactly.
Are there any other questions? I apologize. I hear an echo, and I don't know if it's me or.
I think it might be, Mr. Chairman. Am I, how do I sound? Fine.
You sound fine.
Okay.
Just real quick, Mr. Palmer, two things that I had was it seems as if soil conditions and soil types are becoming a trend is it just a matter of we probably should do more testing, more drilling to find out what's there, or is it just such small pockets that we're not catching it?
I mean, it's very site dependent. So, at the animal control facility, we didn't own the majority of that property previously. It was owned privately, and then we purchased it several years ago. It was used for brick manufacturing and cement. So we weren't quite sure what was going to be there, but we didn't think it was utilized for landfill purposes. And when we did the coring, we didn't encounter anything that indicated that either. So they did several different, very thorough, sample of cores where the foundation was going, and didn't come up with anything like that. So unfortunately, it was just sheer luck that we didn't know that condition existed there. So it was, there ended up being, it's not garbage, but it was just miscellaneous. A lot of brick and concrete product, a lot of glass and metal type, some wood and that type of stuff. So it was just unsuitable for supporting a foundation for a new building. So our environmental investigations, I think we do our due diligence, and we have good consultants on board for that. But sometimes, again, it's underground, you can't see it. So until you start digging, and so that, unfortunately, between the animal control facility, Rockledge, the driving range, and now the fire training tower, we have 3 sites there that are, 2 of those sites we knew were compromised. The animal control facility ended up being a surprise to us. So a little bit of a surprise to us. I mean, not completely a surprise because it was adjacent to the landfill, but we didn't really have any belief that it had been used like that. So, and based on, we went back and looked at photographs from the 1930s all the way up, the aerial photographs that are done every 10 years to see if we could see anything like that. And we didn't see that, and the consultants didn't as well. So it's unfortunate, but it does happen. And there's, we find it all the time, even inside our buildings, there's unknown conditions. So even though I have a set of plans that says this is how this was built,
Right.
And when we go and renovate something, it's not like that. Even though I have plans that say it was built like that. So it happens very often. So
I can relate to that, actually.
Right. So
okay. The only other thing that I wanted to touch on is this, and I know that we talk about it from time to time, and this could be a future agenda item, actually, in that just a higher level review of how the RFP process works, because I think that people do sometimes think that once the town council approves funding for something that it just automatically something gets built, and that's just not how it happens, or something gets renovated or what have you. And so I think just a, you know, not detailed, but a higher level, how does it work type of thing, so folks can you know, see that.
Yep. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Yep.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And I know you have to take off for another
I do.
meeting, so we will relieve you of your duties here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good night.
And I guess we'll just take a little jump and skip over to Director Phillips.
Good evening through the chair, John Phillips, Director of Public Works. I appreciate your time this evening, to those who are watching and those sitting in this committee this evening. All we have tonight is obviously our monthly report. It's new and improved, if you would, if you have reviewed it. Most importantly, Brooke Nelson has worked hard at making changes to this report for presentation purposes, and knowing that we're online, not really in person, and some people may just not open up the report as posted on our Civics Doc platform. We've added a lot of pictures for people to see and maybe relate some of the things that we talk about verbally to pictures of what we do. And I think the pictures can, and in most cases, pictures to speak 1,000 words. And when I think they do that very well in this report format for Public Works. I'll just highlight some of the activities in the report. Again, we were talking about the activities happening down here in the Brixton Street campus, which is Public Works' yard. Facilities is also down here. Again, Director Palmer spoke about the fire tower and the animal control facility. That's all being built in this Brixton Street area. Also going on is our Material Solution Center. And again, to highlight it, it's Public Works' long-term mission. It's been a very long-term mission to provide a convenient and environmentally responsible waste disposal solution for the residents of West Hartford. That project continues to move forward, albeit slow because there's permitting and there's design issues that we have to consider as we move along, including the capping of the landfill, which was done when we discovered the situation of our landfill during a feasibility study. Larerio Engineering is our contractor consultant helping us. We've completed all chemical assessments of the landfill, which developed the material acceptability protocols that cap the landfill. They've helped us prepare the landfill closure plan, which has been approved and submitted to DEP. And right now we're sourcing the material for the land formation of the landfill and working towards completing that landfill closure plan. We hope to complete that in the first part of 2026, coming up next year. Next steps on this process, we're preparing the permits for the application to DEEP to operate a waste and recycling transfer station, which is much larger than we have now. Currently, our permit is held by our vendor who operates and manages the facility for us. And so we're looking to bring those permits to the town site as we go bigger as far as the amount of materials we can bring in. We want to complete the design and do site engineering of the residential transfer station. We'll do analysis of costs to operate the facility, both within town staff or looking for contractual services as an opportunity to operate and manage the facility. And in that process, we'll identify the risk and opportunities that each options have for budgetary recommendations. And again, the picture in it shows it at 30% design, shows the layout of the facility, and then gives a wide range of identified materials that we'll be able to accept at the transfer station moving forward, at the future transfer station. Speaking of the transfer station, right now it's currently just a recycling center, but our permits, we're selling more and more permits. This year we've exceeded last year's permit sales already, even though if you recall we had an increase in the permit fees. We feel the current facility as is presents a tremendous amount of value to our residents, as we think the expanded version will have even more value. But we've sold 3,213 permits to date, which is more than we sold last year. And total recycling tonnage coming into the facility has reached 5,400 tons total, which is a large number of people diverting materials away from normal waste streams and disposing them properly. So we applaud the residents who are conscious on where their materials go after they're done using them, both recycling and if they just need for disposal purposes. The town's food waste program is strong. It's a fair statement to say it's growing every week, every month that we have the program in place. Catherine Bruns is doing an excellent job of bringing our schools online. And October 1st, there are new laws that mandate schools come on board, depending on how much food waste they generate. We're way ahead of those new laws because we've been active in our school food scrap diversion program since 2017. And Catherine Brun has been instrumental in making sure the schools are on task and adding schools each and every year. And we hope within the next year we'll be through our middle schools and well into our high schools, having a solid food waste diversion program in place. Recently, and I think Councilwoman Blanks, you attended it. We gave a tour. Catherine Bruns gave a tour at the Quantum Bio plant, organics plant in Southington. That's where our food scraps goes. Quantum is the largest active anaerobic digestion plant in the nation. And so it's a proud tag for Connecticut to have that. And our food waste has been going there since they started back in 2015. Again, a great relationship we have with Quantum, town of West Hartford. But I did not attend a tour. I've been on tours before, but I heard the tour was very successful, great learning opportunity. And in the report, you can see some of our collection statistics for our drop-off locations. That totals about 22,000 pounds of food waste we've diverted since those 4 locations have started. That's about 11 tons. We were always exceeding the capacity at the town hall location, so we added a second unit at town hall. A picture shows that location, and again, so that's helped us with managing that. We're proud to say we're having overflow issues at Eisenhower Park now, so more and more residents are using the drop-off center and maximizing the capacity of that one location. But if you also recall, we do have a grant opportunity out there with DEEP to expand drop-off locations throughout town, and if we have to add resources to our current locations. So we're excited about that, and we look forward to a favorable decision by DEP to give us grant money to help us expand the program. And again, Catherine Bruns does a great job with outreach on the program at our farmers markets and any opportunity. I don't know if you follow her on social media, but she has a really good link on Tuesday Tips. She gives out tips on recycling materials and diverting materials. It's a great opportunity to just learn once a week, learn about a certain material, whether it be glass, film plastics, other types of hardened plastics, on what to do with them, and on having that honest public outreach or honest public conversation about what to do with materials once we're done using them. Our EV charging update, EV charging stations update. Again, all of our stations have been updated. We're awaiting council a resolution as presented to the council for our fee structure to be in place, and then we'll be able to go put those back live. So we're excited about that. Again, we're the systems in place. We have been commissioned by Flow, which is our American equipment provider for our EVSEs out there. And so we're looking forward to the next step, which would be the resolution to start a charging program so we can have pay to park systems, but pay to charge systems in place. And again, looking forward to that moving forward after the next council meeting. Director Palmer spoke about the fuel source facility. Yes, we did. Took a lot of vetting and getting through the environmentals to have a storage facility in place. The POs in place to purchase the fuel cells, if you would, the fuel tanks. Again, in the report, you can see examples. Our facility will look very similar to the pictures that we provided there. And so, next steps, we're going through the engineering process of designing the site for site work. And we'll go out to bid for that site work so we can have the site prepared so that when the tanks are ready to be put in place, it should go pretty quickly after that. So again, looking forward to that. We're hopeful for this winter, but if processes are what they are, we'll definitely have it ready for the spring and the winter of 26, which is a big step forward for Public Works as well as our emergency management planning. Our street department, street division, if you would, on top of a number of maintenance projects, where really just every single day we have all kinds of maintenance work that we perform, specifically for our MS4. Like Director Power mentioned, we're helping out the driving range with working on some utility work for them. But our biggest work that we've done over the last month is our capital improvement projects. Again, there's a chart there that we either repaired or rebuilt. Several, over 30 locations on full streets of replacing catch basins, cleaning them, and making sure they're ready once the street is repaved and refinished to perform from a water flow standpoint. A lot of work goes into that chart. That chart really is, it's hard to describe the amount of work that goes behind each one of those streets, the work that we put in and rebuilding and making sure the catch basins and curbing and driveway aprons are all ready and done correctly. Traffic safety, again, and supporting our work zone safety areas throughout the town. Work zone safety is obviously a very important part of what we do because we work in harm's way. We work on the streets, as highlighted. Unfortunately, I'd like to highlight the loss of a public works employee in Enfield last Friday. He was roadside mowing and a car hit him in his mower, and unfortunately, that employee lost his life. Tomorrow is his funeral. Us, as well as 75 other municipalities, are participating in that funeral service with procession plans. But in addition to our work for traffic safety out in the field, we also created a new logo that represents our work. This logo will complement the town's logo on our literature, but it will be on our trucks. I think it best represents who we are and what we do. And a lot of times we get mixed up with other utility companies throughout town. We hope this will differentiate us from others out in the field, that this is us. Again, it complements the town's logo, but we are launching this more aggressively on our vehicles and our town letterheads or public works letterheads. Municipal parking is a standard report that we provide for financials. Again, we're happy to take any questions on that. The struggles really is just the construction activity that is happening on LaSalle Road. We're seeing that now in our numbers because there is a limited amount of parking due to construction. And over the next month, we're having free parking due to the construction on LaSalle Road and Farmington Avenue. All others will work normally. Our surface lots and garages are still up and running as a fee-based program. Again, we're happy to support the project to get the move along, and we'll be excited for when the work is completed in 2026. That I think the public will respond because the center will be ready to with all the restaurants and stores accepting more people and have a good, honest ability to pay to park and use our system as intended. Again, parking supports the commerce of the center, and we're proud of our programming that we have up there. And again, the report is self-explanatory. I'm happy to take any questions on that. The garages are going through a restoration project, capital investment. Again, we own the garages. They are reaching that 20-year mark. So we're doing a lot of concrete structural work right now, which is just not that there's a problem, but it's just necessary when you have a concrete structure. Joint repairs, ceiling replacements, drainage work, pipe upgrades. So that's all progressing forward. And for the next month's report, we'll report on it more. All of our mechanicals on the escalators and elevators will be replaced. Again, these machines are out in the elements, in an open environment, not necessarily in a building like we're used to seeing escalators and elevators. And at 20 years, there's a necessity to rebuild them so that their uptime remains high and add in new efficiencies, energy efficiencies, as the components inside the escalators and elevators have obviously been modernized in the last 20 years. And so we'll start that project here in the coming weeks. Fairview Cemetery is doing well. We are selling out the added area. If you recall, the council approved an area in the fall of a new area in the fall of 2022, which offered 150 new monument lots. They are selling rapidly. Again, we sell as needed. We don't do pre-sales, but that area has been well received by the public. And again, monuments are very, very popular with families. And we were almost had no availability of monuments prior to 2022. This area has opened that up, but it is quickly selling out at a rate where we probably could sell out this area within the next year to 2 years. And then we'll be back to where we were in 2022 with no additional monument sales. I do want to touch on some professional development that the entire Public Works management team went through. that was delivered to the town by Adrian Adrian Smith. It was a great program that she offered the town of West Hartford, and my leaders went through that, and now we're sending another set of wannabe leaders to learn the program. So we're looking forward to that program to be extended, and we participated in it this past summer. And again, the last page are just some pictures and highlights where Public Works has participated in community preparedness, as well as the bike activities that happen in late August. Again, happy to take any questions on the report as presented.
Thank you, Director Phillips. That was pretty thorough, and the photos add more than 1,000 words each. So thank you for that. And I did want to just make a quick comment on the map that shows the Brixton campus. I just want to make sure folks that might be watching are aware that that is pre-construction of the animal control facility and other work down there, so it doesn't reflect those activities going on down there. Are there any questions for Mr. Phillips from his admiring crowd here? We have Councillor Blanks, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Not really any questions, but just to comment again, Mr. Phillips, great report, always so thorough and informative. And I really did want to thank you and Catherine Bruns for the fantastic food waste management program. It's funny because when the program was coming online and everybody was talking about it, I wasn't quite there yet, and it sort of forced me to get on board. And then when I participated, like I'm a real regular now. Even freeze it in the little plastic bag, which is much easier when I go to dispose of it. But more importantly, what an eye-opening experience at Quantum. That gave me a whole new appreciation for food waste diversion and what they did. And our tour guide was such an awesome and knowledgeable young man who was really able to break it down and really show us what really happens when it leaves our house and it arrives there. So it's not magic, right? But it's real people, real resources that are doing some really hard work, but important work. So just really kudos to you and your entire crew and the team and everything the professionals at West Hartford does. We are really making a difference. And I'm so pleased to see more people are coming on board. So that's just awesome. People are just being educated and being responsible and conscious about our earth. And that is awesome. In fact, I was joking and saying how it should be made a mandatory field trip for all town staff. Mr. Town Manager?
Well, I'm glad you had an opportunity to see how clean energy is made. Again, it's a
Yes.
process, it's a science, and that technology is amazing. And Connecticut is very fortunate to have this facility, and West Hartford's fortunate where it's only 7 miles away. So we're very
Exactly.
fortunate logistically,
Yeah.
and hopefully in the years to come, we can capitalize on these opportunities.
Absolutely. So that's all I had, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Were there any other questions, Deputy Mayor or Councillor McGinnis? Having none, I just had a couple things that I did want to ask. Regarding the food scrap drop-offs, locations, new locations discussed. I wondered if what is in the works there, if anything.
So we didn't hone on any specific sites, but we are certainly looking at more in Elmwood, Faxon Library, possibly Walcott parking lots up in those areas. On the north end Library, Senior Center are actually good locations. Like I said, I mentioned Eisenhower Park is turning out to be popular, so we might have to enlarge or add a capacity to that location. And then obviously continue to focus on the center of town where the highest concentration of people are. So there'll be parks, even Vanderbilt Park's on our radar to see if one can go into Vanderbilt Park. Logistically, again, there's not a real parking lot there, so it's got to be kind of park and go. We don't want to cloud the street on, so we got to be delicate with some of the pocket parks that we have. But they're walkable, and I think a lot of residents would walk their waste there because the location that it is. So we have about 11 locations highlighted as a possibility, and I think the money will allow us to add 8, double where we need to be, or even add new locations.
Great. Yeah, no, I had a friend asking me about the Elmwood section, so she would be happy to hear that.
And you should
Uh,
expect legislation of food waste to start getting stronger and stronger over the next couple of years. I had a talk with an industry insider this week, and the people with money investing in it are looking to make major investments in food waste diversion in Connecticut. So we're hopeful that the program will certainly grow and expand, and I think our state legislators will hear that call and we'll start making changes.
That's good to hear. Thank you. The other thing that I wanted to touch on, just real quick, are the fueling station. I'm sure that the need is very much there, and I wanted you to tell us why the need is there. I mean, is it cost driven? I mean, I know I frequent a particular gas station and little convenience market, and I do see our vehicles there from time to time, and so I'm sure that there's some cost savings here, and I just wanted to point that out, I think.
Yep, great question. So there's a number of drivers, cost being one of them significantly. So we'll be able to buy our fuel in bulk, 8,000 gallons at a time for gas and diesel. So we'll be able to have purchase agreements with fuel providers to keep our tanks full. So there will be a cost savings there. There's an emergency management driver to this right now, and we experienced it very sadly in 2011 when we had massive power outages and inability to fuel our trucks. We had to literally commandeer fuel lines when there were long lines for the general public to get fuel to fill our police cars, fill our public works vehicles just to do our jobs. We certainly don't want to replicate that. We were land stricken, right? We have a 10-pound operation in a 5-pound bag down here on Brixton Street. Again, council favorably allowed Public Works to purchase the property across the street. We went through a vetting process of what is the best use of that corner, including we talked about even possibly putting the animal control facility. Once that vetting process ended, we were able to realize probably the best location for our fuel station would be there. Because again, our current facility and our current site is so tight with current operations. So that allowed us to expand once we had that land. And then once all those pieces kind of fell in place, and then there's an operational efficiencies, right? We don't belong in the middle of a snowstorm running into our large trucks, right? Plow in the front, big apparatus in the back, and trying to maneuver with the general public at Cumberland Farms on that little corner, or the Trupbrook Shell Station, Trupbrook and Farmington Avenue. We don't belong in those locations with all of our apparatus bouncing around, and so it's a safety factor. So all those things coming into play, we're excited and we're pushing hard to make this a reality. Hopefully for this winter, but more likely it's going to be a spring 2026 completion.
Well, I am hearing too that it might be a snowy winter, so
We'll see.
yeah, we'll see. The last thing, and then I'll be quiet for Catherine to take on her piece here. The need for the cemetery, is that something that we should be looking at sooner than later if you are anticipating such a short I was going to say deadline, but that is probably not the best term to use. But you know what I'm getting at.
Mhm,
We
mhm.
need to be looking at that sooner than later.
Yes, to answer your question bluntly, yes, we should be looking at it if we want to continue to offer burial options for West Hartford residents, who have, and many residents leave West Hartford, but we have a lot of people that come back, even though they're living in other parts of the country. The funerals are for people from that do live far away, but that come back home, if you would. It's very intimate and sentimental opportunity for long-term residents who love West Hartford or just live here and want to stay here forever, so to speak. There are paper plans for what cemetery expansion. Again, it'd be a sensitive conversation for both for the public to have and the council. But you will hit a point in time where it's either just a cemetery that we maintain in perpetuity of its life, right, with no more a opportunity to add to it, or we expand and grow the cemetery so we can offer burial grounds for the future years to come. So that's it. Being as sensitive as I can about the topic. Again, I'm sure there are residents who don't want expansion, not my backyard situations. But there are paper plans to expand the cemetery that we can certainly, through your leadership, or this committee's leadership, can start having those discussions, or through the town manager.
How much, I mean, realistically, whether it's if you can say in time, but how much do we have there that can be expanded into? What are we realistically looking at?
We could be sold out within the next 5 years, the entire 54 acres, right?
Okay.
What has helped us is the popularity of cremation over burial, right? So that's helped us increase more spots and be creative in how we bury that. A lot of the monuments that have gone into this new area, the families, has unfortunately had to experience a death, but has chosen to buy the monument, but they plan on burying several cremation plots instead of going full burials on these monuments. So that will be helpful to expand it out. But eventually, that area with only 150 locations, you can see from the picture, there's already a few dozen. It won't take long before those monuments get sold out. And then that's pretty much it. We will have no more monument sales where we'll only be relying on cremation spots, which is obviously much smaller. So yeah, I would say by the next 5 years, we could be at that area where a decision is we're just maintaining a perpetuity of caring for the cemetery.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that information, and thank you for the report overall. And we will move on to sustainability with Catherine Deviney.
Hi, I'm Catherine Deviney, part-time energy specialist for the town. So I just wanted to share with you all in our report, we mentioned 2 important events that are coming up, organized by the Sustainable West Hartford Commission and lots of partners. So this Saturday at Town Hall from 10 to 1, adjacent to the farmers market, is our annual, I think this might be about the 4th annual electric showcase for the town. And this event is being expanded this year in celebration of Third Act Sunday, in celebration of all things renewable. So we're going to have the traditional electric vehicles and electric lawn equipment with owners there who can answer questions about how to operate them and what ownership experience is like. We have e-bike test rides, which have been proved very popular in the past. Catherine Bruns will be there doing demos of the free drop-off food scrap bin that's right in front of Town Hall. We have permission from our risk management department to do guided tours of the solar array on Town Hall roof. And we have some folks from Eversource and the Need Project coming with some family-friendly activities or kit building or something. We're not sure what they're bringing for kids. So I hope you all have seen some of the promotions. It would mean a lot to the commission and the partners. They're hoping some of our counselors and our town leadership will show up. I think Mayor Cantor will be giving a proclamation in honor of Sunday around 11 a.m. at that large. We're hoping that's going to be a large event. And then the next Saturday on September 27th, We have organized a pollinator garden that was installed at the entrance to the Children's Forest in Wolcott Park. There's an open house, which will be held from 10 to noon. They're going to have some introductory remarks and education about pollinator gardens and biodiversity, as well as some hands-on activities also for kids and learning workshop on how to build your own pollinator garden. So fun stuff coming up, and we hope you all will attend, or if you can't, at least promote these events to the general public.
Great, thank you. Great. I have thoroughly enjoyed seeing all of the pollinator gardens popping up around town, whether it's something that we've had something to do with, or whether it's private gardens. It's been a thing of beauty, literally. And I know I'll be out harvesting some seeds from my own garden here. I noticed they were already starting to pop and fly everywhere. So fill in some holes. Does anybody have any questions for Catherine?
I have no questions, Mr. Chair.
Deputy Mayor, Councilor McInnes? No? Okay. They're letting you off the hook, or they want to go get dinner. Maybe both. So with that, I think we are to future items, is it? Future agenda items. And we already discussed possibly having kind of a review of the RFP bidding process. And so that might be something to look at. And I don't know if it's something for this committee, or if perhaps finance, or where it would go, but I think it'd be interesting to know what effect tariffs are having on us right at this point. There's been discussion that things are costing more, and where do we stand there? So I don't know if that's a finance committee topic,
Yeah.
or if it's something that we would discuss here, or both.
It probably crosses a few different committees, much of which is this one, but certainly community planning and economic development as well. So it could be F&A, or it could be a combination. Yeah. So we can talk more about that and figure out which committee is best suited for that.
Okay, great. Thank you. I guess with that, we are nearing the end, right? Do you have anything else, Mr. Ledwith?
We do not. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Well, thank you all. And do I have a motion to adjourn at 6:54, I think is what the
So
clock
moved.
says there? All right. I'm going to go with that. So have a great evening, everyone. And
night, everybody.
we'll see you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Bye.